Welcome to Marquee Backstage. I'm your host, Julie Milam. We're about to bring you a bluesy psychedelic explosion that'll have you grooving in your seat from the very first line. Just like a rock and roll circus, this remarkable four-piece creates musical magic that takes over your senses. Look for them on tour forever, spreading the gospel of letting your hair down and having a good time. Get ready to boogie. This is the Minks.
Creatures of culture, yeah, following the brightest star. So why not turn off your TV and find out who you really are? Do you think you're witness when you really are Europe? But there comes a cheap politics exploding from you above. Damn you, brother, love your sister too. See just what you mean, yeah, mean what you do.
We are so happy to be here with the Minks. So much energy coming for this show today.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys all introduce yourself?
All right, I'm Nikki,
I'm Dylan.
I'm Henry.
I'm Ben.
and we are
And we are the Partridge.
Minks.
Nikki,
We'll get that one day.
So where did you grow up originally?
I grew up in Pennsylvania,
Okay.
and then I've been in Nashville for about 10 years. And yeah, I always, loved playing music, and I moved down to Nashville to play music, the age-old tale. And
Was music in your household?
I was really the first one in my family to pick up an instrument and start playing. But there was something about being on a stage where I just felt very comfortable. It just kind of felt like home, and so I'm happy that it's become a career,
Dylan, what about you? Where did you grow up?
I'm originally from a town called Wakefield, Rhode Island. I think by the time I was in 6th grade, my first ever real public performance was at my 6th grade talent show, where me on drums and my two friends on saxophone all dressed up as Abraham Lincoln, and we played a song that I wrote called I'm on My Way Back to Gettysburg. And then I moved to Nashville in 2016, which I think was the year that Nikki started the Minks or played your first show.
You would probably remember that better than me.
Well, I think within a month of me being in town, I probably played my first gig with the Minks and
Yeah.
did it on and off for a few years. And I think early 2020, I said, let's do this. Let's go full time. I mean, 2020 is going to be a big, great year for all of us with a lot of stuff happening. So let's
Had
do
so
it.
much
breakout
promise. So much promise.
And but we've made it through, and
Yeah.
here we are.
Henry, what about you?
What about me? I'm originally from upstate New York, a town called Rochester. My parents both very musical people. My father's a musician as well. Ever since I was little, I've always just had the urge to perform, and just if there's a camera or there's a stage or if I have someone's attention, it's just let's go. Here I am. Blah, blah. So yeah, I think playing bass for as long as I can remember and just hopping on as many shows as I can has just kept me happy and kept me going. So I figured moving to Nashville would just feed more of that. And when I moved down there, I got hooked up with these guys through a couple other artists and had one of the greatest tours ever in last October. It's really like-minded people.
fun.
It was so much fun. It's not often where you can get in a van and tolerate people for 2.5 weeks. And when
It's
you
true.
can,
Even if you like each other, it's hard to do it.
yeah, exactly. And when you
Really is.
can, and just get along, and it's just easy going. Everyone's super polite and nice. Just
Yeah, you did.
All right, last but not least.
Yes. I grew up in a household that wasn't super musical either. My parents weren't really. I actually heard my dad describe music as the bubblegum of life once. I love my dad. They're extremely supportive folks.
I would argue that the bubblegum of life is bubblegum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's factual.
You guys can hash that one out later.
Yeah.
Let's unpack this a little bit.
But found myself comfortable on stages doing theater, and I grew up in the church, and I led a worship band in junior high as well. and just, yeah, felt that buzz, thoroughly enjoyed it, decided.
Then he turned to Satan, and now
I turned to Satan.
Now he's
And
in
he
the
found
Minks.
his way to you.
And dropped out of high school. No, I truly did drop out of high school.
No, don't feel this.
Dropped out of high school,
occult
dropped out
had
of
nothing to
college,
do.
because I just decided that music is the thing that I'm best at, and it's, you know, I don't get any other feeling like that from anything else.
Except bubblegum.
It's that bubblegum.
'Cause who are you to drag me through the dirt? Who am I to take the way it hurts? Oh, I gotta fly. I gotta fly. I gotta fly. Ooh, yeah, I gotta fly. I gotta fly.
What do you guys think the biggest challenge of moving to Nashville was?
I think Nashville's hard because most people like move there with a purpose, like to play music. So that can just be hard in kind of finding like where's the crowd that I want to be playing for, playing with, you know. And but the thing about it is that Nashville is very welcoming. I thought, at least when I first moved there. So it wasn't really hard to find the people, but I guess maybe it's just a little intimidating because everyone's so good. So that can be a little scary when you've never really played out in front of people or shown them what you can do, you know.
And I think too, you know, as competitive as it can occasionally be, there's a decent chance that if you go out to lunch or dinner, you know, half the people working there at the restaurant are musicians, so they get it, you know, because there are so many musicians in town. I think whatever competition there is, or you know, whatever egos are flying around, can usually be offset by the sense of community and the sense of togetherness. I mean, I think that, you know, when one person succeeds, we all succeed.
And seeing other artists come to your shows.
Yeah, definitely.
Is
Yeah.
very unique. I mean, it's not unheard of in other cities, but I think in Nashville, you see a lot more of that.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first time that McCartney came out to see me play, and I was just
It was a big
Blown
night.
away.
Yeah.
So far into your career as the Minks, share with me one of your best memories.
2021 was a really interesting year because, you know, we were entering the second year of the pandemic, but, you know, people were starting to get vaccinated, and Bonnaroo was supposed to come back, and then last minute the week of, they had to cancel because there had been a bunch of torrential downpouring, and like they literally couldn't get vehicles onto the ground. So a lot of artists sort of in a whatever 100-mile radius were just finding whatever gigs they can get. And so Mark Ribier, who was supposed to play, booked a gig in Chattanooga, and we got a call the day before the gig, I think,
Yeah.
saying like, can you guys come and open this show? And Mark Ribier, for anyone who might not be familiar, he does a lot of like looping and sampling DJ work, and it's really
And wears a bathrobe.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
part of it too.
And then everyone in the crowd wears a bathrobe.
Yeah, it's
Wait, really?
it's
Yeah.
really fascinating, and we're a 4-piece rock and roll band, like there's
Right.
nothing to do with it. But I think at this point in time, whatever it was, August, 2021, people were just so ready to be together again, to hear live music of any kind. So I think we played Chattanooga maybe once or twice before that. Nobody was there to see us, but it was already packed, and we walked out on stage, and it was like the stereotypical like roar of the crowd. I made like a stupid little hand gesture, and people went even crazier. And it was like, sometimes you listen to a live album that's really poorly mixed, and you can tell when they're like bumping the audience noise. But it was actually like that. Ben would take a solo, and you would hear the roar of the crowd over it, and it was like,
That
what?
whole time period was just good. Like coming back, getting back to music.
Yeah.
I feel like
Already.
we all. I mean, obviously have loved it from the start, but it's like there's like a new appreciation for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of like
With
a reset.
us and
Yeah.
and people coming out to the shows too. It's not just the musicians, but that's been really inspiring to see amongst like a time that has not been very inspiring.
I lost my mind 10 minutes ago. 3 a.m. 17. Hey, Mr. Steiner, when you step out of line for your 2 cents on me. Oh, but I take it easy and let it go.
Let's talk about music. Tell us about new music.
Yeah.
Tell us about the most recent music people can't get enough of.
Us specifically? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we have a new single out.
yeah.
And
Yeah. Well, yeah, we do. We recorded an album during the pandemic, pretty much. We were lucky enough to all kind of be together, and we just spent a lot of time like going over songs, because it almost felt like summer camp or something. Some of those days, like we would just like get together all day and practice and work on songs, and then from that we came up with a bunch that we liked, and we went into the studio, and so we have a full length that we're going to put out at some point. And then we just released a single in January called Lavender, which we will be playing.
But to answer your question about new music, besides our new album that will be
Hey, you
coming
gotta
out.
plug. You gotta
Thanks
plug
for
your
your
stuff.
attempt, Nikki.
Yeah,
You feel like
yeah,
you're giving
I
us a real
know.
answer.
Yeah.
So from your new record, the new project not yet released.
Yes.
Do each of you have a favorite?
Favorite song? Oh,
Got a couple favorites.
I do. I'm not very. I honestly don't really like the favorite questions, because I feel like I like choose one, and then 2 days later I'm like, wait, no, I wanted this one
Or
instead.
they're all your
you know?
children?
Yeah.
Like, how could I pick just one?
Right.
They're
yeah.
all mine.
But my
Right.
favorite kid right now is definitely Take It Easy. I think that
Yeah.
one's so much fun to play. It's
Yeah.
just
Take it easy.
it's got
is
good
like-
energy. And,
Yeah.
you know,
I feel
we
like
love good
our
energy.
favorite ones are always the newest ones
Yeah.
too. You know
Sure.
what I mean? That's how it goes. But I think Creatures of Culture, I think, turned out really good as well.
Yeah, we were coming like right down. We had picked out basically all the songs we were going to work on. Then like 2 weeks before, Nikki comes up with this new song called Creatures of Culture that I think is one of the best on the album for sure.
Thanks, yeah.
I really still like Up We Go a lot.
Yeah. It is exciting to like finish something and be proud of it.
Right.
You know?
And then get ready to share it with the world.
And then
Every
by the time you
single
share it with
night.
the world, you
You're
completely
tired
hate
of it.
But
You're done.
Not all the
there's a
time.
honeymoon period.
Right.
I think that is the funny thing about being an artist is, you know, you're almost never satisfied with what you've done. Like you're like, okay, I did this, but I'm ready. Like, what's the next thing or the next step? You know, and so.
So what does that look like for you as you move into the future of the Minks? And how do you continue to do those set lists every show and go, we gotta
Well,
do this one again?
we're pretty good. I mean, we do make set lists for most shows. I mean, we don't always go by them exactly, but we'll make a set list. But I think maybe also just for ourselves, to keep it interesting, we change it up almost every night. So there's almost never like a back-to-back Minks shows that you're gonna see like the same set, you know, because also that can get stale
For you guys.
for us, and even an audience. Like you can tell when you go see a band and like they're just phoning it in, you know. And I don't think that's something any of us want to do.
I think as a
So.
performer too, if the audience is into it, it doesn't matter how many times you played a song. Like,
Right.
if
And
you're
you know,
getting-
your
Yeah.
favorite people. You go to their show and you hope that they play the
Yeah.
song that you want to hear. So, I've always felt like I love to go see a band live because I know it's going to be a different experience than just listening to the
They
record.
feed off of you, which is what
Totally.
you just said.
I think that's like the key. I mean, I really thought about this during the pandemic because there was a time when we weren't playing. And so you have those moments of thinking like, why am I playing music? Why am I doing this? And it just like hit me so easily that, wow, we're like, it's almost like we're a vessel kind of energy that's like, we're putting it out there and then people are picking it up and then they're giving it to us, which, you know, fuels us. And then it's like this awesome spiral effect of energy and excitement, and people, I feel like a lot of people aren't able to like just lose themselves or open up, you know, in their everyday lives. But when you go see a show, like you can dance and you can do whatever and kind of let it out, and playing music is like an excuse for people to be able to be free, kind of. So
I mean, if you can lose yourself in the music the moment you want it, you know,
You never
never let it go.
you never let it go.
Never.